I kind of knew that we weren't gonna go far or anything like that, but I was just like, you know what? I'm bored. Like, yeah, like sure. That's what I said. Like, you know what? Sure, with my innocent self. Welcome back to my channel. So, if this is your first time on this channel, then I do welcome you. What I do is that I just talk about a topic that God has placed in my heart. So, any topic. And so I talk to you as friends, and I also update you or talk about my writing business. I do write poetry. So, yeah, so if you're watching this video right now, then you should know that you are my friend. Feel free to comment. And yeah, so today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. And the topic is 5 reasons why you shouldn't date for fun. Now, before we dive into it, let me just explain what I mean by dating for fun. So, I'm talking about a person who would meet somebody and they know for a fact that this person is not going to do them any good, but they still insist to be in a relationship with this person. Or, they could clearly see that they don't see a future with this person at all. Like the person won't work out with them, but they decide to just be in a relationship with the person. I'm talking about somebody who would just be like, you know what? I want to be in a relationship because I'm bored, or I want to be in a relationship because I am lonely, or I want to be in a relationship because I need somebody to love. I'm talking about that person, right? So I'm not talking about somebody who would meet somebody and talk to the person to see if the person is who they are looking for, if God is going to give them some green flags about the person, right? I'm not talking about that person. And I'm also not talking about a person who once thought that they could work out with somebody, or they thought that God said the person was their partner and unfortunately they didn't work out. I'm not talking about that person, right? I am talking about a person who would just jump into a relationship because they're just bored. Okay, so now here goes the 5 reasons. Number one, it causes heartbreaks because you're not going to work out with this person eventually, right? So, what's going to happen? Heartbreak is what's going to happen because no matter what, this person is not yours. So, it's going to end up in heartbreak. I remember one time I was actually really going to date because I was just, bored. I kind of knew that we weren't going to go far or anything like that. But this was a while ago, like over 7 years ago, something like that, right? Yeah, I was going to date because I was bored and it was just going to cause me heartbreak. So I'm just going to make the story short. But basically, around the time I was just so bored because I was working from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And afterwards, I would just go to school because I scheduled my classes during evenings so that I could work, right? So that's what I was doing. So I was bored. I was like, I need to spice my life up. Like, I need something fun in my life. Like, this is getting bored. So, on campus, I met this guy and he was cool. I was already seeing him around the campus, but like finally we got in contact and he was cool. And he got my number. So I was talking to him. I'm like, okay, he's cool, he's cool. And then he said, you know what? We should go out like every weekend. And then I was just like, I was just bored. So I was like, yeah, what? Sure, sure, with my innocent self. So to just make it short, God was just like, no. And then I also saw why God said no. So I was just like, ah. I was so bored. And then I was just like, you know what? That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. To cut the story short, I ended up finding out that he was a player. Like he told me that he didn't have any girlfriend, but thank God he was a player. So I was just like, you see, I was just gonna date because I was bored. And what would have happened? I would have been heartbroken. But you can clearly see that it just causes heartbreak. So yeah, so that is one reason why we shouldn't date because we're bored, is because it causes heartbreaks. Number two, it changes your identity. So let's just say you're dating Mr. Wrong or Mrs. Wrong, right? And then Mr. Wrong has some character or something like that. You start developing it. It's just like when you hang around with somebody too much, let's just say a friend or somebody, you start being like the person, like you start talking like the person, you start even laughing like the person, right? So that's just how it is. Yeah, so like if Mr. Wrong, right, goes to the bar or something, right, you're going to see that you're going to start going to the bar. And guess what's happening? It's changing your identity because that's not who you were before, right? It could also be like if the person treats you so wrong, you start developing like a bad character. If this person was never a bitter person, right? Because they got into a relationship with Mr. Wrong, right? They will start being bitter towards him. And even after they get into a relationship, they end up being a bitter person to everyone else. And you see what's happening? Their identity is changing because they got into a relationship with the wrong person. And this is even a better way for you to understand this whole identity changing thing. This really happens to a lot of guys. You know, a lot of guys who are players, right? Most of their stories are the same. Most of them just say that they got into a relationship with a girl who broke their heart. And from that point onwards, they were just like, you know what? I'm not going to give my heart to no woman anymore. So they start messing around with every woman in this world. And that's not who they were before. So we can clearly see that if you get into a relationship with the wrong person, your identity could be changed. And this leads me to the next one, which is it causes soul tie. So hopefully you know what soul tie is, but if you don't know what soul tie is, you can go ahead and watch a lot of videos or read about what a godly soul tie is and ungodly soul tie, because soul tie is like really broad, like but anyways, let me just explain briefly about it. Soul tie is when your soul is connected to somebody else's soul in the spirit. We see when God said in the Bible that a man join with a woman and they will become one flesh. So that way it's like a godly soul tie, but there's like ungodly soul tie, especially when that person is not your life partner. It could be an ungodly soul tie. So when that happens, once they even break up, this person just can't forget their ex-partner because of the soul tie. So you find this person crying or waiting for this person to even come back. That's what sometimes it happens. Like some people could even start having dreams like, don't worry, I know that you guys broke up, but definitely he's going to come back or she's going to come back. You know, it's a soul tie. And when that happens, it's just hard for you to be with the right person because your soul is still connected to that person. And even if God brings the right person into your life, you're still going to be thinking about the wrong person because you still have feelings for that person. You can't forget that person. So you get into the relationship and you're not even that happy because your soul is connected to a different person. And sometimes you would just wait, like, you know what? You need to get healed before you move on to the next person. So in that case, the right person could be presenting themselves to you, but because you're still not healed, your soul is connected to somebody else, you would just be like, nah, I need to heal first. And guess what? You're missing the right person. So, yeah, so that is one of the reasons why we shouldn't date, because we're just bored. And that leads me to the next one. The next one is you could miss the right one. Okay, so you've met somebody, right? And then you really like this person, you're trying to get to know this person, you feel like this person could work out, but you ended up finding out that you dated the person's best friend. Or a guy meets a woman and then he's just like, okay, yeah, I want to get to know her. Oh, this person just looked like she's going to be my life partner. Like, I really want to get to know her more. So they end up, going through their social media and stuff like that, going through their pics. And then this person see a picture with a person that he once dated together. And then he's just like, she knows Cassandra? Nah, nah, nah. And then one time they're talking, he goes to ask her, like, I was going through your pics and I saw that you took a picture with Cassandra. Like, how do you know her? And then she just like, oh, like, that's just my cousin from my grandmother's side. Yeah. And then he's just like, and now it just blocked his chance. He cannot talk to her because her cousin and this person once had a serious relationship. Meanwhile, maybe that person was just the right one for him. So that is why this is one of the reasons why we shouldn't date, because we're just bored. All right. So the last one is, it's just a waste of time. Because relationship is like a huge commitment. Like, you have to invest so much of your time, and it's a lot of sacrifices. And honey, instead of you doing your homework, like, you're on the phone like, oh yeah, I love you too. I love you too. And then you end up getting a 20% on your exam. It's just a waste of time. And that time could be used for something really important that could like change your life forever. Then you wasting your time on somebody who you're not even going to be with that person in the following year. It is just a waste of time. And that is the last thing that I am going to add. So yeah, this video was for whoever who could resonate with this, right? So if somebody feels like giving up on love, like giving up, like, nah, like, it's been a while now, so I don't even care anymore. Like, I would just date for fun. I would just date because I'm bored, even though they don't see a future with this person. They know that this person, they're just not going to work out. Then just know that God has the right one for you. Don't give up. But when I was doing this video, the group of people that I really had in mind was people, who are now developing into adults. Yeah, so do not date because you're bored. Don't do it. Yes, it might be, fun in the beginning, but in the end, it's always a disaster. And even if you could ask your older brothers and sisters, they're going to tell you, like, don't do it. Like, it's just a waste of everything, waste of heart, waste of time, waste of everything. So just don't do it. And whenever it's time that you feel like, okay, now you want a person, right, to be with forever, that's when, whoever that comes your way, you talk to them to see if the person is what you're looking for. But don't get into a relationship with this person if you know that this person is not going to do you any good. Yeah, so one more thing, I have some poetry that I want to read with you. So I'll be right back. And then, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this one says, to my loving spouse. This is the card. Yeah, and then this is the writings. Right here it says, I'll love you forever. And then it has it here. And then, yeah, so this is it. And then this is the other one that we're going to be reading. It's like a little apology poetry frame. Okay. All right. So it's like a cute, short greeting card that if you just got married and you want to purchase it, I feel like it would be cute. So it says, I know that heaven is smiling at us today, and I'm happy because I'm here to stay. I vow to always ensure that you're okay. Whenever you're coming home, you always say, yay. My life is now changed with this ring, but my love for you will be constant till we go meet our king. So, yeah, and it says, I'll love you forever over there. And yeah, and then, oh, yeah, I also have one. So this one says to the newlyweds, right? It's still the same words, right? So for this one, somebody could buy it to a couple that just got married, right? And then for the one to my loving spouse, you just buy it to your spouse. So yeah. And then we're going to read the poetry frame. Okay. So this one said, I've been thinking about what transpired, and I understand that an apology from me is required. I just want you to know that I don't intend to do you wrong. So please never stay angry at me for long. Hurting you is not an option. That's why to offer an apology wouldn't be a question. There might be some misunderstanding at times, but I'll still love you 8,000 times. So yeah, so you can purchase this whenever you do your partner wrong, because we're all not perfect. You can just give this to the person and the person should forgive you in like a second. But yeah, so check it out at www.beheavenlywords.com, and I have different ones that you could find one that really resonates with you. I have inspirational ones, a lot about God, so feel free to check it out and purchase some, order some if you could. So yeah, that's just going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to like this video, comment, share, subscribe for more videos. And if God permits, see you when I upload my next video. Bye-bye.